Welcome back. I don't waste your time. Let's get straight into it. Salesforce.com, which is a company that I've made repeated videos about, talking about how I think it'll outperform over the coming years, has sold off nearly 6% today on the news that it is in fact going to be making another acquisition, despite management signaling to shareholders that they're done with mergers and acquisitions. But as always, in true Salesforce fashion, they are in fact buying another software company at a massive premium. And I'm not going to keep you waiting. It is in fact this company right here, Informatica, trading at roughly an $11 billion market cap. That is the roughly reported acquisition price target. But with that, before we dive into what Informatica is and whether or not I think this is a value accretive acquisition for Salesforce, I do want to mention that I have a very large stake in Salesforce.com. It is the second biggest holding in my portfolio, roughly at 14% of the portfolio. And I am most likely going to be buying more Salesforce in the coming weeks. So you can go over to my Twitter. I always have the portfolio in my bio after I make a big change. So for updates on that, you could go to my Twitter to see that. With that being said, let's dive into what is Informatica. Informatica is a data heavyweight in the enterprise world with revenues of $1.5 billion and over 5,000 employees. Now, get this, they provide an AI-powered cloud data management platform. Now, if you didn't understand what that is, I didn't either, but we'll dive a little bit deeper into it and try to pick out exactly what it is that they do. Informatica specializes in helping companies process and manage large amounts of data, combining data from different sources to gain insights. So far, what I'm getting out of this is very vague stuff, but to my understanding, they do something with data and they store data and they help with analytics around data and that type of stuff. Now, the author over here goes on to say, if this type of tool sounds familiar, the verbiage to describe Informatica is very similar to how Salesforce has positioned its product suite over the past decade, combining data from multiple sources, bringing it into one system, and allowing you to gain insights about your business performance. Very interesting. So, to my understanding, this is very much falling in line with Salesforce expanding their suite of products that they offer to their customers and being able to cross-sell multiple different softwares. Now, the key service that Informatica provides is this ETL, extract, transform, load, where they're able to move data to what's called data lakes. So for example, Snowflake, which is a company you might have heard of, as well as Databricks. Again, I don't understand the intricacies of this, but it seems to fall in line with Salesforce expanding their suite of software. Another interesting line I'd like to read that the author wrote here is Data Cloud, which is a segment in Salesforce's reportable segments, is now the true flagship product for Salesforce. Move over Sales Cloud. Interesting. Growing at 90% year over year, approaching $400 million in average reoccurring revenue. 24 is the year of CDP. I'm not sure what CDP is exactly, but what the author is saying here, Data Cloud for Salesforce is their fastest growing segment at $400 million in recurring revenue, and this acquisition falls directly in line with the products that they offer on that segment. So again, falls into the playbook of Salesforce of bringing on all these different products and cross-selling them as they get ingrained into these different businesses, right? I believe the quote goes, price is what you pay, value is what you get. But if we don't understand the business to begin with, how can we possibly decide if it's going to be value accretive to us shareholders? With that being said, I went over to our handy friend over here, ChatGPT, in order to further my research. So I quite simply just asked ChatGPT, what is Informatica exactly in layman's terms? Now, it didn't really give me a great description, again, very vague, and it kind of just, again, said the same things that we already know. It's a data company, it helps you integrate data and collect data from various sources, blah, 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 whatever, right? But I am a person who learns best through examples. So that's exactly the next prompt that I gave to ChatGPT. And I asked them, give me 5 use cases for their products in simple terms. Now, the first one here, data integration, is the most revealing. Combining data from different sources like sales, Salesforce, marketing, and customer service to get a complete view of customers. Now, if you guys watched my last video, you would know that these are exactly what Salesforce does. So sales, of course, the sales funnel, the core CRM offering of Salesforce, it'll fit into that perfectly. Marketing, if you didn't know, Salesforce does provide a lot of marketing services. So every time you buy something on Amazon and you get an email from Amazon saying, "Oh, you just bought this. It's estimated to arrive at this time. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Thank you for buying this, Aria. Whatever the case is." Or sometimes Amazon emails you saying like, "Oh, this is in your shop. Don't forget to buy this," or whatever. Same thing with like Nike and just all the retailers, right? Any company where they have customers, they use these marketing push notifications and they send materials. Oh, here's a 10% discount just for you. Uh, Black Friday deal, right? Whatever the case is. So that is something that Salesforce does. Additionally, customer service, right? So if you go onto Amazon and you'd like to speak to an agent and you put a ticket in to speak to an agent about some issue you have with a product, that's the customer service aspect of things. That's all done on Salesforce, right? Additionally, a complete view of customers, that's another product that Salesforce offers, the Customer 360, which is just bringing all this data from the aforementioned sales, marketing, and customer service products, brings all this data and puts it all together very neatly so that at any point you could bring up all the different reach outs and all the different marketing materials that's been sent to any given customer anywhere. And it's all done on a web browser. So that's the incredible beauty of Salesforce. But anyways, with that being said, to my understanding so far, this acquisition falls directly in line with exactly everything that Salesforce does. Now, they go on to mention it does offer some other stuff. So data warehousing, quality management, master data management. Apparently this is a big deal. I don't exactly understand what it is, but it just puts together all the different, data that's been gathered about the customer, and it just puts it all together. Again, I'm not a specialist on this, but that is my understanding of it. Data governance, this more has to do with being able to keep the data protected and that type of stuff. Again, a lot of different products offered by Informatica. And so naturally, the next question I asked ChatGPT was, what are some of its peers and competitors? And to nobody's surprise, it's, of course, the software giants that we have today, your IBM, or Oracle, Microsoft, SAP. I don't know what this Talend and SAS company are. But yeah, as you can see, their competitors are many of the other software giants of today. With that being said, so far, to recap, we have a $11 billion acquisition for a company which I think it can be value accretive for Salesforce. There's a lot of core offerings to Informatica that are most likely going to be cross-sold to Salesforce's large arsenal of customers, right? I mean, they're in 90% of the S&P 500, right? So naturally, Salesforce is going to be able to cross-sell Informatica products with the customers that already use Salesforce, right? With that being said, what do I think of Salesforce stock value proposition wise as it stands today? Now, I made a video roughly when Salesforce was in the $300 range, and I said it was a screaming buy. If that was a screaming buy, I don't know what to call it now. So I've loaded up the analyst estimates for free cash flow over the next 5 years. And friendly reminder, this is fiscal years. So Salesforce is 1 year ahead. So 2028 here is actually 2027, so on and so forth. Or no, I think this is calendar years. I'm not sure. But anyways, what's important to note is I estimate, or actually analysts estimate, a 16% compound annual growth rate for their free cash flows over the next 5 years. And management has guided for 8% of revenue to be stock-based compensation, which is, if you don't know, stock-based compensation is a really big killer of free cash flows when looking at that type of thing. With that being said, after doing some math and some numbers, I assumed a 1% buyback. You could see at the bottom here that depending on the valuation that Salesforce trades at in 5 years from now, you could see that even if the multiple compresses down to a higher than 5% free cash flow yield, you could see that it is still returning about market average returns. Now, of course, Salesforce has had incredible valuations over its 2-decade history, so I find it unlikely that it's going to be trading at a 5% free cash flow yield. Nonetheless, it is in the realm of possibility. But as you could see, with not that much assumptions baked into the price, you could be returning double-digit returns on the stock price over the next 5 years, right? And if they were to even maintain the current valuation, so roughly in this 3.5 to 4% free cash flow yield, you're getting mid-teens to high teens stock price appreciation over the next 5 years. Now, with that being said, how does this stack up to other companies in my investable universe? With that, I'd like to draw your attention to my investable universe free cash flow calculator. This essentially just takes the current trading price of any given company and the valuation they're trading at and divides that by the growth rate. So as you can see in the green here, we have Starbucks, which I've made a recent video about, and I have been buying Starbucks, Salesforce, Ulta Beauty, and Evolution Gaming. Again, I've made videos on all four of these companies, and I've detailed why or why not I'm buying some of these companies. But as you can see, Salesforce appears to be the third best valued company in my investable universe. And with that, I am in fact going to be buying more Salesforce stock. It is already at a 14% allocation in my portfolio, but I just simply can't ignore. It's a very wide moat business trading at a massive discount by my figures. And with that being said, I will be interested in buying more of this company. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.